Catchers report to spring training for the Mariners next week, and then the full squad reports about a week later. In a week, so it's actually on Valentine's Day. Not a great day to report to spring training. Just thinking like you got a girlfriend at home, and your girlfriend's like, "I want to go out on Valentine's Day," and you're like, honey, I have to go try to make the Major League Baseball roster of the Seattle Mariners. And then because it's the Seattle Mariners, you come home and later that day and you're like, I didn't make the roster. I ruptured my testicles because, that's a thing that happens frequently on the Mariners roster. I am really excited about the way the Mariners have handled this offseason. I liked Eugenio Suarez at third base as a defensive guy, but I understand the reason we moved on from him was the massive amount of strikeouts. And just the Mariners had far too many strikeouts. It felt like every other 5 minutes we were striking out with the bases loaded and no outs. Like we led the league in noble tigers. If you go and take a look on r/baseball, the amount of times Mariners noble tiger in bottom of seventh, Mariners noble tiger in bottom of ninth, Mariners noble tiger in top of 13th. I think it was the 12th inning that we noble tigered in and ended up losing the game in the bottom of the 12th. It was bad. It was just so bad. And it was because we struck out too much. So that's a decent one. Teoscar Hernandez being gone is not the end of the world. He struck out a lot. I did not necessarily think he was going to be a guy who was going to come back to the Mariners because the qualifying offer for him was like $20 million, which is like ridiculous. No way he was coming back for that. He did sign somewhere. I think he might have actually signed on the Dodgers, which who knows what's going to happen with the Dodgers. And then thinking about some of the other guys who aren't on the team anymore, who else? The pitcher, Robbie Ray getting traded. I didn't hate that move. I thought that was a pretty good move. I thought that allowed us to make some interesting decisions. Obviously, we have Julio Rodriguez going into his third year. I'm really excited to see Julio because he regressed in some of the numbers but had more raw production. So it'll be interesting to see if he can have more raw production and not regress in the numbers. I'd like to see J.P. Crawford keep up what he did last year. Emerson Hancock, if he can get back to being healthy and makes the team again, that's going to be good for us. Obviously, Castillo, Gilbert, Kirby. We don't have any problems with pitching. I don't think. Maybe Bryce Miller, Brian Wu. Maybe one more guy in the bullpen, but I really don't think that. Haniger and Garver need them to really get back and stay healthy. What's our backup catcher? I genuinely don't know who our backup catcher behind Cal Raleigh is. Because, I don't know. It was, forgot who it was, but yeah. Well, the other thing I'm enjoying is we don't have Colton Wong on the team anymore. And we DFA'd Colton Wong last year, but I thoroughly enjoy not having a guy on the team who triple slash worse than Lou Gehrig with ALS. I am absolutely excited for the Mariners season this year. Do I think World Series? No, I don't think we're quite there yet. But I think playoffs or eliminated on the last day or two of the season, just like the last couple of years. We have the defending World Series champion in our division, so that makes it a little bit more difficult because of the way things are. With, you have to beat the best to be the best. So I guess if we can do well against the defending World Series champion, we'll be okay. I can see us winning the division, which would be great. But I can also see us coming out and going 81-81, which would not be great. I wouldn't enjoy that. The 2023 Mariners almost set a record for most times being 500. But then the month of August happened. If every month were like the month of August, we'd win more than 116 games, which would be great, but I don't know if that's sustainable, and we all remember what happened in '01. Obviously, I'm not suggesting that another 9/11 would happen. In fact, I would very much like for there never to be another 9/11. In fact, I'd like to state unequivocally, I am against 9/11. But we all know 2001 we lost to the Yankees, then the Diamondbacks beat them. I'm happy for Sewald being on the Diamondbacks. He's doing pretty well there. That was a really good trade. Um, I have no idea who our backup catcher is, which is a problem because, like, that's a position where you need to have a day off here and there. It's a lot like goalie in hockey, where like you can't do every single game. There's no way. You have to have a backup who at least is competent enough to get you to not lose the game, basically. Like a guy who he might not be the guy who wins you the game, but he makes sure he doesn't make the mistakes that lose you the game. That's what you need in catching. I'm really excited about this. This year, I'm planning on trying to watch most Mariners games. Um, Unfortunately, I probably won't be able to watch the spring training games live. I'll probably go through the condensed versions. Because spring training's at 3:30 p.m. my time, which is essentially when I'm in school. I can watch on Fridays though, and then most of the other games are going to be late night. I'll miss Thursdays for a little while, but that's whatever. We actually have a lot of off days on Thursday for travel and travel purposes where other teams traveling. I don't hate having Thursdays off. I actually think Thursday off is really cool because you do a 3 days, 3 game series, 3 game series, and then you play six in a row, have a day off, play six in a row, have a day off. Then if you have to have a 4 game series like the one I'm trying to go to in May against the Yankees, you can have some fun with that. You just go four and then three. What I'd really like for the Mariners to do, well, for MLB to do for the Mariners, is every time we play the Yankees and Mets in New York in the same season, to schedule us to just do four and then three, or four and two, or whatever it is. I think it's four and two. No, it's four and four. So we're just in New York for like 7 or 8 days. And that way, what I could do is I could just take a trip down to New York City and just go to Yankee and City stadiums and just hang out there and enjoy myself for 8 days in New York City. Of course, now that I suggest this, Major League Baseball will probably do it when I can't get to New York City.